During the first part of 2018, Accounting Web has been surveying all of our members about the software they use, and we're getting feedback that's going to feed into a package of software reviews. Now, when I looked through the data we've got for Receipt Bank, I started to see the things they liked and disliked about the product, which we'll be listing. But based on that feedback, I've got a few kind of areas of interest for accountants, and thought maybe you could tell us how Receipt Bank answers these different challenges.
Absolutely.
Now, the first one is a biggie. The headache for accountants is always getting together expense data, the figures when it comes to preparing statutory accounts, and maybe if it's a director, their personal tax return. So can you show us how Receipt Bank tackles that challenge?
Absolutely. So what we aim to do is essentially make a quarterly or annual task that takes a lot of time into a little and often method. So what we're seeing on the screen here is actually it all starts with client onboarding. So you just need to essentially invite the client to use the Receipt Bank mobile app. It's very simple through an SMS text invite, and they'll just get a notification that will take them to either the App Store or the Google Play Store, and will download the Receipt Bank app and automatically log them in. They just need to change their password details. Once they have this app, they can submit receipts on the go by taking a photo, and that's as simple as it gets. And if they get any digital invoices, they can be forwarded through via email as well. We've just seen Invoice Fetch, which can integrate suppliers directly with their Receipt Bank account. So as soon as any submissions come into Receipt Bank, the data will automatically be extracted and available to publish to your ledger. So you're always up to date.
I guess you've captured all these different expense types. How can Receipt Bank help the accountant to sort of categorize them and reconcile them to the data in the account system?
Absolutely. So again, if we take a look at the screen here, what we're looking at is Receipt Bank can pull through the chart of accounts from the cloud accounting software, and will auto categorize expenses. We can see some categories over here on the right. We're looking in the Receipt Bank inbox. What's great though is that we'll actually remember any corrections that you make, so the categorization gets better over time. You can also set rules based on a supplier, so that an invoice comes in from a particular supplier and it gets coded up correctly, and then you can automatically publish it through to your cloud accounting software. Now what we're seeing here is actually also with this match column, if we actually recognize a match on the bank feed of the accounting software, we'll flag it up in Receipt Bank so that you can actually compare real-time data with the bank feed. So this black match here is saying we found a match on the bank feed in the accounting software, and we've pulled through the payment information as well. So when it goes through to the accounting software, it's identified as paid. Saves a number of steps. Secondly, what we can also do with this green match icon is identify a match on the reconciled transactions list. So if your team have been cash coding up items and then the client submits the documentation a few months later, we will recognize a match. And if you were to click this green logo, it would go through to the accounting software and attach itself to that transaction without creating a duplicate.
Okay, thanks for that, Mike. Now, you described Receipt Bank as something that allows the clients to do sort of the input kind of little and often. But if you have a lot of clients doing all this incremental work, remotely, at odd times evening, it probably can get quite complex for the bookkeeper or the accountant to actually sort of keep a handle on where they all are, or if, to spot whether or not there's a particular accountant who may need to make extra attention. What are the things Receipt Bank does to help them keep a handle on that?
Absolutely, it's a really good question. And so I've got some screenshots here. We can't show live data, but of exactly what Receipt Bank can do to help bookkeepers manage a process at scale, really. So I'm just going to focus in on Herman here from Herman's Hammocks, and only just a few of these metrics just to flag how it can be managed. So first of all, you're seeing a big red metric here, outstanding paperwork. What this is doing is actually looking at the bank feed of the cloud accounting software, cross-referencing with Receipt Bank and saying there are 569 transactions that there's no corresponding paperwork to. And if we look at what this actually looks like like in Receipt Bank, this is the report that will be pulled off if you were to click that. And then when you share it with the client, you can share it directly to their phone or email if you want. But this is what it will look like here. So come up with a list of transactions and they can either dismiss those items, take a photo to submit them, or another button that says they can't find their paperwork. If I just go back onto the client view here and focus in on a few of the key metrics to actually identify if your clients are engaging with your services, I'm just going to take us over here into this client efficiency section. This metric is called last submission and essentially is identifying when the client last submitted documents to you. Now this is especially relevant if you're doing regular work for the client, say you're doing monthly work and they last submitted 2 months ago. That's going to be an issue, and it means that you can proactively engage with the client to see what the problem is. Very similarly, this client delay metric is telling you what the average amount of time between when a client makes a transaction and gives you the documentation is. So again, if you're doing monthly work and it's saying it's 69 days client delay, you've got an issue and you can proactively contact the client to address that. And that's what we're trying to do with these metrics on the Practice Platform dashboard.
Okay, so I mean, that's a few of the kind of edited highlights of where you're addressing kind of log jams or particular process points for the practitioner. So thank you for sharing with us, Mike. Now, if you're watching this and you want to find out more information about Receipt Bank, we have a new software reviews page where there'll be details about the product, its pricing details, things about free trials, the integrations available with Receipt Bank, and there's a package of other applications as well. And if you want to know anything else about the world of accounting or accounting software, we're accountingweb.co.uk and we'd love to see you there. I'd like to thank Mike again for joining us and for you watching this, and bye for now.